Hey friends, welcome back to another Vinyasa practice. Today is all about crow pose, which is like the most requested asana that we work on. It is so fun, and even if you haven't tried crow pose before, I invite you to come into your practice. I'll provide lots of options along the way. We will be practicing our normal Kakasana crow pose as well as parivrita Kakasana, our twisted crow, maybe crow to tripod headstand if we're feeling up to it. But yeah, this Vinyasa practice is going to be a lot about kind of upper body strength and core strength, and it's just going to be so much fun. Let's get started on our backs today. When you're ready, roll yourself down. And maybe you land in Shavasana with your legs out long, or maybe you have your knees bent with your feet wide, knees knocking together. It's really just whatever feels most comfortable for you here. Use these next couple of moments just to create an awareness of what it feels like to land on your mat today. Noticing what the body feels like, if there's any pockets of tension or things where it feels a bit more tight. But also noticing the state of the mind, noticing any thoughts that are present, that are apparent and taking up space in your head. As well as just noticing any energies that you have carried here, knowing that everything or anything you've brought to your mat is perfect and beautiful and exactly as it should be. Just acknowledging these thoughts and energies for one more moment, one more breath, and then let it all go on an exhale. Return your attention to the breath, letting those thoughts pass away just like a cloud in the sky. It just floats out of frame. And in this practice today, I ask you to practice non-attachment. It's easy to want to achieve a certain pose, to only feel like a practice is successful if you've achieved crow pose or whatever asana that you might find in your body today. But see if you can take a little bit of a step back. No matter what happens in this practice, how does it make you feel? What's the process? What's the journey that we can take to getting there rather than focusing just on the end? Because it may never happen. And when we focus our energies on the journey rather than the destination, we can feel so much more successful and present with whatever happens. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Fill up the belly, fill up the ribs, fill up the chest. Deep breath out, let it go. Draw both of the knees up into the chest. Give yourself a little bit of a squeeze. Maybe a little rock from side to side here. You could keep the hands around the legs, or you can take your hands out to the side just a little bit to support your weight as you draw some circles with the knee. And you might make these circles small to begin with. Eventually you could turn them into kind of like a twisting sensation. So you're dropping the knees to one side, then you're scooping them back slightly, then maybe going to the other side. And then coming up and then swapping directions of the circle. As you do this, we want to try to keep both of the shoulders on the ground here, and having your hands wide will help with this. Let's go one more big circle. Exhaling as you draw the knees back. Inhaling as you draw the knees back through center. Keep the knees hugging towards the chest, but see if you can lift the chin up, place the elbows towards the knees. So this is kind of the position that you want to be in when you're on your hands. So you can imagine crow pose in this position. Take a deep breath in here. As you exhale, extend one hand and one leg, same arm, same leg. Inhale, bring it back through center. Exhale to extend. Inhale back through center. Exhale to extend. Inhale back in. Exhale to extend. Inhale back in. If you want a little bit more, both arms, both legs. Exhale, crunch it in, draw the ribs in. Inhale. Exhale, pull and squeeze. Inhale. Keep the lower back pressing down to the ground. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let's go for about 6 more. Inhale. Exhale. Can you lift the shoulders off the ground a bit more? Inhale. Exhale. I'm already shaking. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let's go 2 more. Big squeeze of the elbows towards the knees as you bring them in. Last one. So good. Lower yourself down to the ground, hands by your hips. Feet can either stay close to your hips as we lift up into bridge. If you felt like a little bit more, take a small step or a big step away with your heels. Lift your hips up, engage the glutes. So your feet being further away is just going to engage through the hamstring a little bit more. Thinking about tucking the ribs in to the hips. Squeezing the glutes. Maybe you stay here, maybe you lift one heel off the ground. It doesn't have to be big. And then tapping it down, and then swapping the other heel. Tapping it down, lifting it up. Tapping it down, keep the hips high, lifting it up. Take a breath in, exhale, tap, 1 more each side, breathe in. Exhale, maybe step the foot a little bit further away, breathe in. And then exhale, lower your hips down to the ground. Grab the backs of your legs. Oh, I can feel that in my hamstring. As you're ready, rock yourself up, come into a tabletop position. So hands are underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips here. Spread the fingertips wide and take some circles on the wrists. So circling yourself out in one direction. And then other direction. And you can always stay with the knees down on the ground for this. Otherwise, come back through center, find a neutral spine. Slight engagement through the core, tuck the toes and hover the knees just off the ground. We're gonna find some protractions and retractions through the shoulder blades. So let's protract, think heart towards the sky. You're pushing your hands into the ground, rounding and puffing up through the upper back. And then retracting, squeezing shoulder blades together, drawing the chest down to the ground. So pushing away on your exhale, protracting, inhaling, retracting. Exhale, protract. Inhale, retract. Exhale, protract. Inhale, retract. Let's go 4 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, last time. Exhale. Inhale, find your protraction again. This is kind of where we want to spend most of our time today. Breathe in, right knee comes to right elbow. As you exhale, step your right foot outside your right hand, lower your left knee down to the ground, lift yourself up. So you're in a lunge position. Keep the back toes tucked. Feel free to keep the back knee down, otherwise lift the left knee to a hover. Clasp your hands into fists and roll out the wrists. Imagine like your feet were trying to squeeze towards each other. And then swapping directions of the circle. Definitely feeling the quadriceps here. Interlace the fingertips behind the back. Take a deep breath in as you open through the chest. Pull the thumbs down. Exhale to hold. Start to lengthen the left leg. Plant the left heel down. Breathe in. Humble your warrior. Exhale. Draw the chest on the inside of your right thigh. You can always rest it on top of the thigh or bring hands down to the ground at any point. Sink into your hips here. Bend your right knee. Look towards your back heel. Left hand comes to the ground. Twisted lunge. Breathe and reach your right hand high. Exhale to hold. So you're trying to stack the right shoulder on top of the left shoulder. Come light onto your left fingertips. We're still going to be working into the right leg here. Breathe in as you lift yourself up. Left hand hovers. Exhale, plant the left hand down. Now you can stay here for the next part, or breathe in, right foot hovers. Exhale, plant it down. Inhale, left hand hovers, keep the twist. Exhale, plant. Inhale, right foot hovers. Exhale, plant. Let's go one more. Breathe in, lift up just a little bit. Exhale, plant the left hand. Breathe in, lift the right foot. This time you're going to step it back into Vinyasa, side plank. You can always have the left knee down here. Lift your hips up. Engage through the glutes. If you felt like a little bit more, you could lift the right foot off. I'm going to hold here for about 3 more breaths. So starting to build strength through the left shoulder, through the core. If your right foot is lifted, bring it down. Right hand comes to the ground. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back. Bend your knees here and feel free to stay here. Otherwise, optional vinyasa. Breathe in as you shift your weight forward, roll into a plank. As you exhale, chaturanga. Elbows come in, come down onto your belly. Untuck the toes, breathe in, baby cobra. Draw the shoulders back and down. As you exhale, press up onto your knees, back into tabletop position. That was like some sneaky lower body spice there. Okay, again, knees can be on the ground. If you felt like more, tuck toes, lift the knees off. This time, keep the protraction of your shoulder blades, so lifting up, but we're gonna tap hands to the shoulders. So shift your weight into your right hand, left hand to right shoulder, and then bring it down. Swap to the other side, right hand to left shoulder. Bring it down. Left hand to right shoulder. Bring it down, breathe in. Exhale, tap it to the left. Inhale, shift it down. If you felt like a little bit more, right toes can extend out as you bring left hand to right shoulder and then bring it down. And then left foot is going to extend. You can always keep it on the ground as you extend it back. Otherwise, your toes stay hovering. Let's go one more, breathe in. Exhale to take it across. Good for balance. Bring it back. This time, left knee to left elbow, breathe in. Exhale, step the left foot outside the left hand for a moment. Lower the right knee down, lift yourself up. Engage through your glutes a little bit, a little tuck of the tailbone. That's gonna help lengthen through your right hip flexor. Feel free to stay here. Otherwise, keep the right toes tucked, lift the right knee off the ground. Hold. Clasp your hands into fists, roll out the wrists again. Long, slow breaths. Swapping directions of the circle. I know how I said enjoy the journey. This is not a very fun journey to be on. I'm shaking. Okay, clasp the hands behind the back. Take a deep breath in as you open through the chest. Try squeeze the palms together. Exhale to hold. Plant the right heel down, lengthen the right leg. Breathe in, start to lean forward, humbling warrior. Exhale to hold. Look towards your right foot. Knuckles reach towards the front of the mat. Right hand plants. Breathe in, twisted lunge. Lift the left hand high. Exhale to hold. Scoop the right shoulder underneath. Maybe drop into your hips a little bit more. Back leg is long. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you come to right fingertips, or breathe in, right hand lifts. Exhale to plant down. Keep the twist in the spine, but shift your weight into your right hand. Lift the left foot up. Breathe in. Exhale, tap it back down. Breathe in, right hand lifts. Exhale, tap. Inhale, left foot lifts. Exhale, tap. Let's go one more. Breathe in. Exhale. So we're using the core to keep the shoulders twisted. Inhale. This time, step it back. Vinyasa, left foot in front of the right. Remember, you can always have the right knee down here. If you felt like a little bit more, maybe the left foot is lifted off the ground. 2 more breaths. Shoulders slide down the back. Left foot comes down, left hand comes down, come into a plank position, take a deep breath in. As you exhale, send it back, downward facing dog. Okay, stay here or breathe in as you ripple forward. Plank position. Exhale, knees or toes, chaturanga. Maybe coming halfway. Breathe in, maybe cobra, maybe upward facing dog, thighs off the ground. Exhaling, downward facing dog again. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Broadening through the shoulder blades, lifting your hips up, softening the knees, dragging the heels down to the ground. Use your next breath in, walk up to your hands, land your feet either hip width distance, or you can bring your big toes together, heels slightly apart. As you exhale, fold yourself forward, Uttanasana. Hands to shins, breathe in, lift halfway. Exhale, ripple it back down. Lift all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana, upward hands pose. Exhale, hands by the sides, Tadasana. We're going to flow through about 4 rounds of our Surya Namaskar A. It's going to help build some inner heat, some inner fire, if we're not already warm enough already. Breathe in, lift the arms. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Hands to shins, breathe in, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, hands down, step back into plank. Breathe in, shift your weight forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale to open, press through each finger. Exhale, send it back. Downward facing dog. Know that you can always come back into child's pose at any point in your practice today as well. Use your next breath in. Maybe walk, or you can bend your knees, look forward, take a little hop in between the hands. As you exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Hands to shins, lift halfway. Deep breath in, exhale, ripple it back down. Lift the arms, breathe in. Exhale, hands by the sides. Breathe in and lift. Exhale, fold forward. Hands to shins, breathe in. This time, if you felt like a little bit more, crow pose. Okay, if you haven't done crow pose before, just have a little look. You're gonna spread your fingertips wide, hands are about shoulder width distance. If you know crow pose, you can head there whenever you're ready. Elbows are gonna come back. You really wanna make sure your hips are lifted because that's gonna give you enough lean forward. So, knees connect to the back of the elbows, the flat part of the knees. You need to make sure you shift your weight forward enough so that the elbows bend enough to create space. Otherwise, it's really hard to find the balance. It all comes from stacking joints. Maybe you lift one foot off. Maybe you lift the other foot off. You want to squeeze the heels to the butt, and you might also just have your toes on the ground, and that's totally okay. We will have a few more opportunities to play. But if you're here, just unwind. Maybe flow through a vinyasa. Or skip it out. Take your breath at the back. Use your next breath in to make your way forward. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, fold again. All the way up, breathe in, Urdhva Hastasana. Eye gaze the thumbs, exhale, hands by the sides, Tadasana. Breathe and lift. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Maybe crow pose, hands down, lift the hips, come onto your toes, bend the elbows back, knees to elbows, look underneath your head, try not to tuck your chin in, okay, because it's going to make you want to roll forward. Take a breath in. If you wanted to try a chaturanga jump back, you're going to try push your feet back, bend your elbows by the time your feet land at the back of the mat. So hold for a breath in. As you exhale, shoot back. Bend your elbows, breathe in, scoot forward. Exhale, shift it back. Downward facing dog. Take a breath. Breathe in, look forward, bend your legs, either walk or hop to the top of the mat. Exhale, fold. Ardha Uttanasana, breathe in. Use the strength of the back to lift, and then exhale, ripple it back down. Lift the arms, breathe in. Exhale, hands by the sides. We'll finish in our downward facing dog. Breathe in, lift up. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, maybe Kakasana, crow pose. Spread the fingertips wide. We want to find that protraction of your shoulder blades here. So lift the back of the hip, huff up through the upper back. Hold for a breath in, and then either step back or hop back. Breathe in to push away. Exhale, shift it back. Downward facing dog, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Take about 3 breaths at the back. I'm going to start a new sequence here, just repeating it 1 time each side. We will also have an opportunity to play with our twisted crow here. Start to bend your knees, sink your hips over your heels, coming into kind of crouch position. You're going to breathe in, roll yourself forward into your plank. Exhale, shift your knees, your hips back towards your heels. Breathe in, roll forward. Exhale, shift back. If you wanted more, reach your right hand in between your feet. Inhale as you reach your arm forward into plank. Exhale, shift back. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, shift back. Let's go 3 more. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, shift back. If you wanted more, left toes lift off the ground as well in plank. Exhale, shift back. Last one, breathe in, shift forward. This time, touch your right hand down, left knee to left elbow. As you exhale, step your left foot outside your left hand. Keep the back leg long. Breathe in, high lunge. Lift the arms. As you exhale, twist to the left. Right hand is reaching forward. Left hand is to the back of the mat. See if you can reach your left hand away a little bit more. So you're creating a bit more of a back bend here. Super active. Let's go 1 more breath. Soften the shoulders down the spine. Lengthen your left leg. Keep the twist of the spine. Reach your right hand forward. Breathe in. As you exhale, maybe right hand to shin. Twisted triangle. Or right hand can come to the ground. My back heel is off the ground, but feel free to hop it forward and plant it down. That's going to make it a little bit more challenging for your hip rotation. Try to look up towards your left hand. Spin the heart space towards the left. 1 more breath. Keep the twist, but look to the ground. Step your right foot next to your left. Hands come to heart center as you lower your hips down to your heel. Twisted toe stand. This is where you might stay. If you wanted to play with your twisted crow, I'm actually going to face the side here so you can see. You're going to keep turning to your left. Plant your hands shoulder width distance. Lift your hips up. Elbows are going to bend back, and then you can either bring the hips to the left elbow and then the thigh to the right elbow. Maybe the feet lift off the ground. If you felt like more of a challenge, it would just be kind of the bottom of the left leg connecting with the right elbow. So the hips will stay lifted. Keep looking underneath your head. If you wanted an even more challenging variation of this, connect both of the hip and the thigh to the leg, and then you'll extend your right toes to the back, left toes to the side. And then coming back. It's playtime. You choose what you want. If you want to practice normal Kakasana here, you can also do that. Okay. If you are playing, come back, toe stand, just facing the front this time. Roll the shoulders back. Hands come behind. Clasp that hands together. See if you can swap whatever hand comes in front. Take a deep breath in. Draw the knuckles down. Exhale to hold. Squeeze and open. Keep the hands bound, but lift your hips up. Forward fold. Breathe in. Exhale, pull the knuckles to the front. Maybe you stay here or look to your toes. Start to lift the heels off the ground. It doesn't need to be big. It can be small. If you wanted more challenge for your balance, lift the heels off a lot. Try to keep them lifted as you roll up to standing. Take a deep breath in through the nose as you lift up. Deep breath out. Let the hands come by your side, but you're still lifted onto your toes. Take a breath in. As you exhale, right toes sweep back. Hands reach forward, warrior 3. You can always plant the left heel down or keep it off. Aiming for about parallel with the ground here, squaring the hips and the shoulders. 1 more breath. Land to the left heel, warrior two. Breathe in, open to the right side of the mat. Left toes are forward, right toes to the side. Exhale, drop into the hips, soften the shoulders. Inhale, reach the hands to the ground. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Now you can stay here. You can go to child's pose or flow through a vinyasa. Breathe in, roll forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale to press open. Exhale, send the back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Deep breath out through the nose. Letting go of whatever happens along the way. If you get the pose, if you don't get the pose. Okay, it's all for fun. Bend your knees. Sink your hips back over your heels. Come into your crouch position. Breathe in, ripple forward into plank. Exhale, shift it back. Breathe in, ripple forward. Exhale, shift it back. Maybe you stay here, or next time you reach your left hand in between your feet. Maybe the feet come a little bit wider here. Breathe in, reach the left hand forward. Exhale, reach it back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Let's go 3 more. Breathe in, forward. Maybe the right toes lift. Exhale, back. Land the right toes. Breathe in, forward. Exhale, back. Last time, breathe in, reach it forward. This time, left hand plants, right knee to right elbow. Exhale, step outside the right hand. Breathe in, high lunge, lift the arms. Exhale, twist to the right, left hand forward, right hand back. This is a really active twist here. We're using the strength of the core to rotate, keeping the back leg really long. Can you reach your right hand back a little bit more? So creating more of a back bend here. Softening the shoulders down the spine. Start to lengthen your right leg, keep the twist in the spine, left hand to the shin or to the ground. Maybe you hop your left foot forward. Take a breath in, keep opening the chest. Exhale to hold. Maybe you look up to your right thumb. Left heel might ground down for a bit more of a challenge. Twisted triangle. Parivrita Utthita Trikonasana. One more breath. Look to the ground, keep the twist in the spine, but slide the left toes next to the right. Twisted toe stand. Maybe this is where you stay, or you can find your twisted crow here. So again, planting the hands shoulder width distance. You want to lift your hips up a little bit, keep your hips facing the front, but then either bring the hip and the thigh to the elbows. If you wanted more, right hip is going to be off. So it's just the left knee. Keep the elbows tucking in, puff up through the upper back. Your fingertips are gripping the ground. Remember, if you wanted a little bit more, keep both of the hips and the thigh on the elbows. Right toes extend out, left toes reach away. And then when you're wherever you are, come back through center, normal toe stand. Take the hands behind the back, clasp the fingertips together, take a deep breath in as you open the chest. Exhale, can you pull the knuckles down a little bit more? Breathe in, lift yourself up, hips lift, arms reach over. Exhale to fold. Maybe a little bounce up and down feels good here. Look to your toes. Maybe you stay here or you can lift the heels off the ground, maybe a little bit, maybe a lot. Use your next breath in, keep the bind, but roll yourself up to standing. Exhale to hold. Release the hands by the sides. Maybe keep the right heel off the ground as you start to hinge forward. Left toes lift up, warrior 3. Maybe arms reach towards the front, creating an extra sense of challenge for the upper body and the back. Hips and shoulders square to the ground. One more breath. Long step back with the left foot. Open warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Breathe in. Exhale. Hands come to the ground, breathe in, step your right foot back. As you exhale, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Maybe you stay here or maybe you ripple forward on your breath in. As you exhale, Vinyasa. And we'll just come back into a child's pose, bringing the knees down, shifting your hips back, reaching the arms forward. Walk yourself back. Maybe you stay here. If you wanted to try tripod headstand or the transition from crow to tripod, I will show you how to do that now. We won't go all the way into it, although you can if you would like. But what you're going to do is you're going to find normal Kakasana. And then from there, you're going to find, so your hands at the bottom of a triangle. You want to land the head where the top of the triangle will be. So the crown of the head will come down to the ground, to the flat part of the head. And you might, this might already be the journey that you take today. If you felt like a little bit more, squeeze the heels up into the butt and then try lift your hips off until the hips are stacking over your head. Already quite a challenging position to be in because there's a lot of upper body strength, a lot of core strength, shoulder strength lifting you up here. And then if you wanted to come out, elbows come back. Ooh, that's the hard part. Elbows come to the back of the elbows. Sorry, knees come to the back of the elbows again. See if you can lift up. I've got my knee placement wrong. But have a play, get the knee placement right. Fall over, have fun. If you wanted to pause the video to have more playtime, please feel free to. Okay, but we're gonna wind things down pretty quickly. When you're ready, come into a plank position. Slide your right knee up to your right wrist. Take a breath in. Lower the heel down. Exhale, standing up for Kapotanasana. But before we head in, take the fingertips out a little bit wider. Breathe in as you lift your left hand up. And as you exhale, reach the left hand through. Imagine thread the needle here. So dropping left shoulder down. Breathe in to lift. Exhale to twist. Let's go one more. Breathe in to lift. Exhale to twist. And you might stay in this twisted position. You can always come back to a more neutral position. Another option, if you felt quite open, is taking right hand behind the back, aiming to bind towards your right foot. Slow the breath down. And just like we had the journey up, we also have the journey down. And we just want to make this as intentional, as focused, as present as possible, just like we were doing beforehand. One more deep breath here. Unwind. Place the hands down. Tuck onto left toes, lift your right leg back to your left, and then we're going to swap it out. Left knee pulls forward, walking yourself back. Before we head down, remember bringing hands forward, breathing in as your right hand reaches high. As you exhale, twist your right hand through to the left, dropping the right shoulder down. Breathing in to open, exhaling to twist. One more, breathe in. Exhale. Holding here. Maybe the left hand comes around to bind with the left foot. And this twist position just drops the right hip down a little bit more, so it might feel a little bit more intense. Aim to soften any tension that arises within the face, within the jaw. Release the hand around the foot. Lift yourself up. Swing your right leg around. Roll yourself down onto your back. Once we are here, we will have two options. We can either come into our bridge position that we did at the beginning, just with the feet closer to the glutes. If you wanted to, you could find your Urdhva Dhanurasana, your upward facing bow or wheel pose. We haven't done too much back bending in this class today, but it might feel quite nice to kind of counter a lot of the flexion that we've done in our spine today. So if you wanted to practice this, bring your hands behind your shoulders, fingertips pointing towards you. You're going to first start by lifting your hips up, engaging your glutes. The second position you'll be in is pushing through the hands, bringing the crown of the head to the ground. And you can absolutely stay here if you felt like more. You're going to push yourself all the way up, trying to lift the heart kind of back and up. Engage the glutes, squeeze the knees towards each other. You can always walk the feet a little bit further away, which is going to just help with a little bit of taking load off the lower back and the hip flexors. Take one more deep breath in. As you exhale, just lowering yourself down to the ground. You're rolling out the wrists again. Pull the right knee into the chest. Extend the left leg out long. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, twist the right knee over to the left. Maybe scooping your hips back a little bit to help with the rotation of the spine. Come back through center. Let's try the other side. Breathe in, left knee to the chest. As you exhale, cross the left knee over to the right. And find your way back through center. If there are any final positions that you'd like to move through before Shavasana, go for it. This is your time. Otherwise, just inviting the eyes to close down. Maybe a little tuck in of the chin here. Softening the mouth and the eyelids, the eyebrows, and the jaw. Your tongue is resting just very lightly on the roof of the mouth, behind the teeth. And let this be part of the journey, practicing non-judgment and non-attachment to any thoughts or energies that arise, just noticing and then letting them pass through with ease. We'll just be here for another couple of minutes in quiet. Just taking a moment to notice where you are in your mind, in your heart. I will leave us here in Shavasana. If you did have the time to stay here for another minute or two once this class finishes, I would so highly encourage that, just as a way to integrate the practice and create this transition space before we head back out into the rest of the day. If this is where you'd like to finish your practice, I thank you so much for practicing and moving and breathing and playing with me. Let me know how you found it down in the comments, and if you want a little bit more, feel free to head over to Patreon, where we have some longer classes, and it's just a great place to be able to connect a little bit more. From me to you, namaste.